welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be making some tiny postage stamps because about a month or so ago, I think it was Good Friday, we went to London for the day and I was uploading some videos and I saw some photos we took last year of the Postal Museum, which if you're in London, you've got a couple of hours spare. It's really fun museum. Go on a little train ride and yeah, it's good fun. And it just got me thinking about postage stamps and this postage stamp and these ones. And I was thinking, I wonder if I could have a go at making some. And then I had a look on YouTube and they were kind of all the rage about 5 years ago. Everyone was making them. I kind of missed out. I didn't realise. So I'm going to do them now. I'm going to do 3 sets of 5. So I've got these London stamps. So we've got a double-decker bus, we've got a Big Ben, a soldier, Tower Bridge and a telephone box. And then I'm going to do some flowers, some dandelion, tulip and some other flowers. And then I thought I'd do an insect set as well. So butterfly, dragonfly, there's a bird, and some ducks. Well, not insects, obviously. Small creatures, and an owl. So the things that I'm going to be using, I won't go into loads of detail because I did this a couple of videos ago, but book pages, just old bits, scraps of paper, an old map. Got this magazine the other day actually. They still send us this even though we haven't used them for many years. Our travelling days are not quite what they were, but some nice pages in there. And then a small, I think it's a dress pattern, a note card, and these bits and pieces, just scraps of paper really. And then you need some scissors. I was having a look closely. I've got these old stamps here, trying to match the pattern. I think these scissors are probably the best ones to use. I did try out a few. Tried more. Oh, here we go. So it's this one here. I thought that one was okay, but a little bit big. That was a bit zigzaggy. So I thought this one was quite good. So I tried to match it. It's bigger, but it's quite similar to this. Anyway, yeah, just some other bits and pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is for the London set, I'm on like a red and blue background. So I've got some red. I'm just going to use some paints to add some blue. Maybe that one. It's going to go a bit of a. There we go. Not sure how this is going to turn out, but we'll see what happens. It's always good to keep your scraps of paper. You never know when you might need them. So if I do this first, then there's time for it to dry. I think the red and orange that's already on there, I think is Dilutions ink spray. I might actually just turn it over as well, just in case that side doesn't work. Just do a bit of watercolour on this side. So if I do anything Londonish, I always think red and blue are the colours that you need. I think I said in one of my other videos, certain images that always make me think of sort of vintage styles. So flowers, birds, butterflies, And I think certain places, I think London and Paris are two cities that really make me think vintage. So old maps, clocks as well. Okay, I'll probably leave that there. I'll leave that to dry. Not sure how, because I've painted on both sides, which was a bit silly, wasn't it? Oh. Okay. I'll just put that over there. Okay. Right, so if I start with, should we do the little creatures first? So I think I'm going to do some book pages for this one. Okay, so I'm going to use these crinkly scissors to do this first bit. I'm not going to measure them. They're going to be different sizes, it doesn't matter. There might be some parts of the video that don't have any sound because that's where I've just sped it up. So I don't think it matters if they're the same size either. Because often when you buy sets of stamps, you get quite different ones, don't you? I used to collect stamps when I was younger, among many other things I used to collect. I've always thought the artwork on stamps is just so pretty. It's some amazing pictures. Okay, so we've got 5 backgrounds. Okay, so I think I'm going to use part of the map next. I might use, I've got a few different stamps here, so I might use this music stamp onto the map. So I'm just going to use archival ink for this. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, that's fine. Okay, I think I might tear these bits. I like the ripped effect. So these are just going to go on top of the book pages. So just on top like that. If you're wondering where to get bits of paper that you can use in projects like this, then charity shops are ideal. So that's where I got this map from, and the dress pattern and the books as well. I can't tear up my own books, so I have to get second-hand ones. This is actually a map of Cornwall in the southwest of England. There we go. I don't know if that one needs to be a bit bigger. A little bit more stamping it off screen there. Okay. I never throw any scraps away. I'll use all these tiny bits for something one day. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is just distress some edges. So I'm using Vintage Photo Distress ink. I'm just going to distress the edges just to make them a bit more vintagey. And obviously, if you use your scrap paper as background, then you're getting the ink on there, you're not wasting it, because you can always use it for something else. Okay, I think I'll do the map, the map as well. Okay, this might cover it a bit more. Making these also reminded me of a time, it must have been the late 80s, I think. We went to this stamp exhibition or Royal Mail exhibition or something. It was possibly at Alexandra Palace in North London, but I'm not 100%. Might not have been. But yeah, I just remember this exhibition. It was just stamps, and it was really interesting actually, even though I was maybe about 12 or something. It was really interesting, and I got to make a stamp on a computer, and you can imagine back in those days that was an amazing thing to be able to do. I think I did something on a desert island. I can remember doing a picture of an island in the middle of the sea. You don't have to distress your stamps, but I think it definitely looks better. And these need to be a vintagey thing, don't they? I guess it depends what look you're after, but I like the vintage look. Okay, got one more. Right, so there they are. So the next thing I need to do is stamp these images onto something else. So I think I'm going to do some coloured paper or card. So we've got a bit pink. The pink and the blue go quite well together, don't they? That could work. Got pink and green. And bits on there. I could use maybe a greeny colour. Okay, so I'm going to use the black archival ink again. So I don't necessarily want the whole, like this is a big image, so it's not going to fit anyway, but just parts of the image would be fine. Okay, and then what else? Ducks. cute, aren't they? Dragonfly. Bird. Actually, do you know what? I can already. It's already the bird. It's quite cool. Anyway, let's put that on there. Put that there. And then the owl. Okay. So I'm going to cut these. I'm not sure if it's cut them. Yeah, I think I'll cut them fairly closely to the image, not exactly necessarily, but okay. Maybe not the others because these ones are smaller, so let's do it like this. Put that there for now. Can always change it.
This piece of paper that I'm using with the leaves on, it was just part of a paper pack of loads of different colours and textures.
Okay, so I think that needs to be a bit more of a shape around the owl.
It's actually amazing how cheaply you can buy things for arts and crafts. I think that paper pack was about £1 or something.
Okay, so I'm just going to distress the edges again. I might actually use the green one. So that's peeled paint. I've still got a bit of brown on, but that's absolutely fine. Let's add a bit of green as well. Okay, so yeah, it just adds a bit more colour, which is good. Colour's good. Okay, so I think we're about ready to stick these down now, and then we can do the final stamping bit to make them properly look like stamps. This glue looks a bit hard. Let's see if it works. No, that doesn't work. Hang on. Okay, that's better. I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background. He seems to think he owns the whole street. He's probably looking out the living room window at the moment. Somebody's probably dared to walk past. And he's not too happy about it. He's the loveliest dog. He's a Labrador, so his bark is definitely scarier than he actually is.
I'll have to bring him into one of the videos one day. You never know, you might get to see him. Any other noises you can hear is probably my husband finishing the bathroom. We've been doing it for absolutely ages, well over a year, and I think this will be the last weekend.
Okay, so there are the small creature stamps. So all I need to do now is put the postagey bits on top. Okay, let's start with this one. Okay, and then I might use that one for a couple of them. Maybe that one. Right, then the very last thing I need to do, using my Posca pen, I'm just going to put some price on it. Just putting really low prices. I might not do all of them actually. Okay, so there's the first set of stamps. They look quite cool. So that's the small creature set. So let's have a go now then at, let's just dry. Yeah. Kind of. I actually prefer that side, looking at it. Okay, it doesn't matter. Right, let's put those out of the way. So this is going to be the bottom, the very background. So does that make sense? The very background. Okay. Right, so I'm going to cut these.
So this weekend is the 2nd May bank holiday weekend in England, and obviously we have to think about the weather, and it looks like it's kind of raining a little bit, typically.
Okay. Right, so there's 5 backgrounds. So like I said, they don't have to be the same size, it doesn't matter. matter. Okay. Right, so I think I might use this and maybe the map. Yeah, so what I think I'm going to do is stamp the map on there. I could get my big acrylic block, but it doesn't matter really. Okay, I might do this bit straight, so
Absolutely, I love maps. I find them fascinating. I could read them for hours. I actually did a little bit of artwork recently using a map idea.
right, so the next thing is to stamp the images. I think I might use this. I don't know. No, I don't think I will use that. I think I will use some coloured paper, maybe. Actually, I might use plain paper because what I want to do is colour the images in red. So maybe like a plainer colour. I could do that colour, I suppose. Yeah, that might work. Yeah. Okay. Let's stamp the images on here. Thing is, if you don't like what you've got, you can always just change it, can't you? You can always keep these for something else. Right, these ones I think I am going to cut quite closely. So, okay, so that one. Telephone box. Looks like an old Routemaster bus. There was no back door, you just had to, well, just jump on and off as you like. That's, it sounds so dangerous now, doesn't it? People didn't used to wait for it to stop, they just went ahead, jumped on, jumped off. Okay, and the soldier. So before I colour those in, I'm just going to distress the edges. Sometimes I use this to do edges. Sometimes I'll just hold it like this. depends what kind of look you're after. If you're doing it like that, you get a sort of a harsher edge, and then if you use this, I find that it's sort of softer and it gets in the grooves a little bit easier. Put a bit more over the whole thing. You hear my washing machine's finished. It plays this tune and it's finished. Okay.
So just going back to what I was saying about the maps, yeah, I did a bit of artwork based on a map. I'd like to see how it progresses. I'll have to show you that.
Making things like this is a really good way of using up all your scraps that I'm sure you've collected if you're anything like me. I can honestly make use of anything. That's okay, isn't it? I don't like waste, I don't like throwing things away. And you can make something with them. I think I'll glue these now, and then I will colour in the, oops, wrong glue, and I'll colour in the images I've stamped. We've just got one more set to do, that's the flowers. And then I intend to use these in future projects, maybe, or just keep them as little bits of art. But they're nice just to have already made if you want to do something that might need some postage stamps. You've already got some. They're completely unique. Okay. So that's the background. So basically I'll find that you need kind of 3 layers to the stamps to make them look good. Okay, so I'm just using Spectrum Noir DR3, and I'm just going to add for a bit of colour. Okay, I'm not really sure where to put it on these. I feel like it needs something. I don't know. A little bit around there, maybe. That was difficult, isn't it? Tower Bridge isn't red. I'm not sure about that. Do you know what? I might actually do it blue because it is partly blue. Let's do that one again. No, it might not really match because the others are red, but hey, that's okay. It's got this blue. It's still hard to know how to colour this. Maybe I shouldn't colour it. Okay, I'll do. Right, so I'm just going to cut these out. So like I said, I'm going to do these quite closely cut, I think. So let's see what goes best on which one. Okay. Yeah, I think they work. I'll trim a little bit. I guess it would have made more sense just to have the map stamp of the UK, wouldn't it, or London, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's just trim the ends there. Okay, so now we just need to put our postage stamp marks on. So for this one, I'm just going to use the London one. That's Liverpool. That's Airmail. I think that was, yeah, that's the London one. Okay.
I think adding the postage marks, I think it really finishes them off. It really, it's quite exciting, I think, adding these finishing touches. I don't know if you ever feel like that with your artwork.
Okay, I might not put the prices on. I might do it later. I might think about it. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's the London set. I'll show you properly at the end. So I'm just going to do one more then. So these can be the flower ones. I think I might use this as a background. So I said before in my other video that I got this. I've got loads of them. It just came with some stencils, I think, that I bought. Masks. So packaging always makes really good material for all sorts of things. Right, so for this one, I think I feel like I want coloured paper. I haven't got much out on my desk actually. What have we got? Yeah, maybe the pink. I could use this on some of them maybe. What else have we got? So this is just the inside of an envelope. We'll have some pretty cool patterns on envelopes. I'm not sure. Yeah, that could work. That one's a bit short. Make that into more of a square stamp, can I? Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to tidy those up to make them a bit straighter. Alright, I might use this dress pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp the flowers on here. which I have lost. Oh, here it is. It was the dandelion, wasn't it? Okay, so for these ones, I think I want to tear the paper. What I like about tissue paper is you can see what's underneath, so that can sometimes be a nice effect. Okay, so let's distress the edges. First of all, I think I'm going to use the blue and purple distress inks as well. So blue is broken china. Let's do the edge of this in blue. And then the purple is dusty concord. So if we do that for the pink paper. And then we'll go back to the vintage photo just to do these bits. Right, okay, so now it's time to work out what goes on what best. So I think I worked out the coloured backgrounds. Yeah, I think they're all okay, so let's get those stuck down. And then we've just got to put the flowers on top. So I think I'll put that one on there because it's quite small. So maybe it's quite tall, isn't it? That one on there. On there. Yeah, maybe like that. Okay. Yeah, alright, so let's stick that one down. It's really hard once your hands get sticky, especially when you're dealing with tissue paper. I don't know, maybe Mod Podge or PVA would have been a bit easier to use, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I'll just tear these a little bit more. Alright, so I'm just going to add a bit of distress ink. Yeah, I think the brown one. And what I might do is put some watercolour on top. Not sure how that's going to work, but we'll see. I just feel like the flowers need a bit of colour. Right, so my paints. So just really a little bit of watercolour.
I was trying to think when I got these Kuretake paints. I think it must have been about, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe. It was when I painted my first children's book that I never actually published. I still might, I don't know. I've self-published quite a few more since then. But yeah, I think I bought them for that. And the purple, I can see it in the bottom right. I use loads of that in that book. Yeah, I've had these paints for quite a while now, but I love them. Really like these ones.
Okay, let's just leave that to dry for a minute. Okay. Right, I have left these for a little bit just to dry. I've tidied up my working space, which got rather messy. So now I'm just going to, I think I might put a bit more distress ink on these. So a bit of blue on the blue one. Then purple on these ones. And then all I need to do is just stamp the postal marks on. Okay, so I put 2 on this one. Okay, I put some prices on a couple of them. I was thinking actually I could do, I should really write as D, I think, for the old pennies, isn't it? So maybe 1. I've got a slightly thinner pen this time. 1D. One and a half D. Okay. Let's add a couple to the London ones. Right, I think they are done. So I'll just show you a bit closer. Okay, let's just put them on here so you can see a bit better. Okay, so there's the London ones. They look pretty cool. I like those ones. Oh, that way. Okay. And then the flower ones. And then there's the insect ones, wasn't it? Oh, not insect. I keep calling them insects. Pretty sure owls and birds and ducks aren't insects. Okay, there we go. There's the small creature ones. So, yeah, they were really fun to make actually. Pretty easy and a good way to use up your scraps, like I said. And I might use them in some future projects. There we go. So the next video I'm going to do will be my May abstract miniature, because I've realised it is very nearly June. I can't believe where the year's going, honestly. So I need to get that done. So that will be the next video, and I shall see you then. Bye.